Remember that time Ed Orgeron won the national championship and then turned around and went 5-5 and shit the bed against UCLA? Well, do you? Or where do you go? Should he go or should he stay? Stay tuned to find out. Well, how's it going out today, boys and girls in sporting land? This is JPC, and I am the outlaw of college football. That's right, we've moved over to a new channel. Tell all your friends on J&J Outlaw to come on over because this is still the home of the Common Joe and the Common Sally in the know, even more so than all those media talking heads. And today, class, we're going to revisit a topic. Eddie Ogre. Ed Orgeron. I've talked about him twice this year and how I think maybe um, that national championship year was just a mirage, and the real Eddie Ogre is finally showing his face. But before I get to all that, I'd like to ask you guys and gals to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Subscriptions are most important. They keep us motivated, keep us up and going, and keep us in the good graces of YouTube. Now, getting right to it, I've talked about this a couple of times already. A lot of people was like, how can you want to fire somebody that won a national championship just 2 short years ago? Well, the thing is, Eddie Ogre has always left a mess everywhere he's been. And I know everybody deserves a second and maybe even a third chance. But at Ole Miss, he was abysmal, worse than abysmal. He didn't win more than 3 games in one season, not one time in the 3 seasons he was there. Then he moves on to Southern Cal, and there he's a pretty good recruiter and everything, but there was a mess, a big old mess left there NCAA wise while Eddie Ogre was in the program as a recruiter. So they made him an interim coach there. Done all right, was average, but they didn't give him the job. And there's a reason why. Because if you look at Ed Orgeron, you can tell the man, he's just got this thing about him that sometimes just reeks of a little bit of, for lack of a better term, a little trashiness about him. Evidenced by the fact that he was using a few expletives after his illustrious win over Alabama the year they won the national championship. Now you fast forward to now, and Ed Orgeron was, I think he was like 9-4 and 10-3 in his first 2 seasons at LSU, which are pretty good seasons. But when Les Miles left there, LSU was still in pretty decent shape. The only problem with Les Miles is that people had grown tired of losing to Alabama, which basically what had happened there. And Les Miles was let go because they thought that they had Jimbo Fisher in tow. They would have never let Les Miles go. Les Miles would still probably be the head coach today if they had known ahead of time that they were not going to get Jimbo Fisher. But since that happened, we've also found out that Les Miles was running a pretty shady program, which we already knew that anyway. It's just you couldn't prove it. Well, all these sexual allegations come out, and now everybody's like, "Well, thank God we did hire Ed Orgeron, even though he wasn't the guy we wanted to go with. He's a good old boy. He's a native of the state of Louisiana, so we did the right thing, right?" No, Ed Orgeron was hired by whom? Les Miles. Ed Orgeron was there during all that mess, so Ed Orgeron's hands aren't clean in all this. And like I said, he left a mess at Ole Miss. They got on probation. And then he went to Southern Cal and left some NCAA stuff there as well. And then when he come to LSU, what happens? They're covering up stuff left and right. Not only the sexual allegations, but there's been some rumblings of NCAA infractions as well. Although that might be something that's archaic and outdated because now you have the NIL coming in and paying players now is no longer illegal. So, but the sexual misconduct and the covering up of that while he was with Les Miles is something I would worry about. And now that he's got his own recruits coming in and he's really building his own program, things are starting to take a turn for the worse, in my opinion. I can understand if you have a couple of down years after losing all the players he lost from that national championship team. I can understand that. But you don't go from being 15-0 to being 5-5 and now being 3-2. And there's no telling how bad this season will end up. If it ends up 6-5 or 6-6 or something like that, if I'm the LSU fans, I would start questioning whether Ed Orgeron was the real deal. In my opinion, he just happened to hit it lucky. He's that guy that went in the casino, pulled the lever, and put just one quarter in after other people have been feeding the machine quarters all night long, and he hit the jackpot in one season with Joe Brady, Joe Burrow, and Dave Aranda to some degree, even though his defenses weren't really that great the last couple of seasons at LSU. But he lost all that. He lost both coordinators and Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, as well as many other players on that squad, from wide receivers on to other offensive weapons as well. So you might be like, well, he lost all that stuff, so let's give him a break, right? No. You can give him a break. Don't get me wrong, I ain't expecting him to come back and win a national championship. But giving someone a break is one thing, but giving them 5 or 6 mulligans, I can't see it. If he had went 9-3 the next year, or even 8-4, I could have forgiven him. But 5-5 and the way they got handled by most teams last year, yeah, that is a big red flag for Ed Orgeron and for the LSU Nation. All you got to do is go back and look at the whole consistency of Ed Orgeron's run as a football coach and an assistant coach. You look at that and take all the seasons and put them together, and you tell me whether that one national championship with a once-in-a-lifetime staff and players is enough to overcome all that and to take a risk on LSU's football future. Because I don't think it is. It was one national championship. One. And he's followed it up with not just a less than stellar season, he's followed it up with a 500 season, not even a winning season. And this year, like I said, they're already 3-2. So, in my opinion, I think Ed Orgeron probably needs to be let go this year if they finish any worse than 6-6. But you guys and gals, tell me what you think. You think Ed Orgeron should stay? You think they ought to give him another chance? You think they should give him one more season? Leave it in the comment section. With that, I'm going to get off of here. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And, as always, KMCA, or as Ed would like to say, KMCA to all the other teams.